We have round two that has already started. It's Jayo Sports. My boy Jay Lynch here. We about to talk NBA playoffs. What's the
Yes,
dealio,
sir.
man?
Not much, man. These playoffs been crazy so far. We're getting some good NBA matches for sure.
Mhm.
Surprises, some upsets. Road dogs, the dogs are barking.
Woo!
But it's interesting so far. Who knows, right? There's always two sides to a series, right? How it starts, and then we got to go on the road. These teams that are the higher seeds have to go on the road, and we'll see what happens. But we see here we have teams that are going up 2-0, coming back home. Right? So we'll see how the changes and how teams can play on the road.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so let's get straight to it. Last night's games, we had the Eastern Conference semis with the Knicks and the Celtics. So Celtics already up by 20, and they did that in the first game. They thought they can get away with it, but in the NBA in 2025, no lead is safe. 25-point lead, 20-point lead, no lead is safe because that three ball, not just the team that's trying to get back in the game, but the teams that are up get too lackadaisical, feel like they
Yeah.
could just chuck three after three. We're already up. Nah, those are wasted possessions. Those are bad shots. And slowly but surely, the Knicks came back. They got the win. I just want to talk about the Knicks having no starter with a plus. All their starters had negative plus minus, and they still got the win. But Cat, you have to realize, Cat did the little things right. 21 and 17, shot over 50% from the floor, and that's what you need. We mentioned Jalen Brunson. He's obviously the head of the snake, but he had an off night. He shot like 6 for 19, but when it came down to crunch time, he proves why he is the clutch player of the year. Had a nifty right hand layup, had like another jumper, and then he sealed the game with two free throws late. If these last two games get down to the wire and it's a one possession game, is it obvious that the Knicks are going to win this series? Because it doesn't seem like Jalen Brunson is going to be flustered from a bad night. He's still going to hit the last shot.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It seems like Tom Thibodeau, this is his game plan, right? Just stay within it, you know. If we can get it close in the end, I think we had the advantage. And that's what we've seen in the past two games, right? The Knicks weren't in the game for game one
Mhm.
or game two. They're getting blown out, right?
Getting
And
murked.
luckily enough, it's just that the Celtics can't get away from shooting these threes.
Yeah.
Like they're up 20 and they're still chucking up threes when they can run the clock, um, run some plays, go in the
Mm,
post, find
mm,
different ways to score. Um, just make the Knicks think a little, on the defensive side, rather than all the Knicks are doing is just trying to contest as much as they can and hoping for them to make miss a shot. And
yeah.
that's just and really and truly a lot of the Celtics shots were wide open. They got open looks and they just weren't knocking them down. So it is interesting to see that the Celtics and how Celtics may adjust, right? Knicks clearly have one game plan, you know? We understand that the Celtics, they have a lot of talent, they're gonna make a lot of shots, right? They're gonna shoot a lot of threes. If they're dropping, it's gonna be a tough team to beat, right? Because
Hmm.
it's a team that they do play good defense, and if they're a total 3-and-D team. They're making threes, they're gonna play defense, and then they'll keep shooting threes. But again, Knicks are gonna weather the storm, right? Knicks are getting great play from Bridges, OG, Cat, like Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart. Like the starting five is stepping up huge for this Knicks team, and it's leading to them having a mentality that okay, we're down 20, the game's not over. We're not gonna throw in the towel. We're gonna just stay in it. Chuck away. Hopefully they're missing, we're making. Play some defense in the end, and then steal a win, right? And that's what they did in game one, and when it went to overtime, and that's what they did in game two. My thought now is, are Celtics gonna make an adjustment, or are they gonna just stay the same team that won them a championship last year, where they're putting up a bunch of threes? And again, I know last year Jaylen Brown was playing out of his mind. Tatum again was shaky last year as well, but he had his moments here and there. But Tatum doesn't seem like a guy that you can
Nah,
put the ball in his hands.
no,
So
no.
I think Joe Mazzulla has something to figure out here, and I don't know what he does because Porzingis is looking shaky. He's coming up with injury. He's playing, but he's not playing like Porzingis. And then they're relying too much on Derek White. Like, is this now Derek White's run?
It's
Right?
a team?
Is Derek White going to be the one that's getting the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and then the Finals MVP?
Yeah, if
Right?
they
Beside a guy like Tatum and Brown that are making 300 mil, doesn't make sense.
Nah, it doesn't make no sense. And Jason Tatum, that last possession is just it's embarrassing because the entire play he has his head down. He's not even looking at the rim. His head is down the entire play, and then he wants to do some one-legged fadeaway. And then when he realizes there's two, three defenders there, he wants to pass it. It's like y'all are down. Where is the
Bro,
common sense there?
he's
That
not locked in, man. He's not locked in. He's listening to too much LMA. He needs to change up the tunes because LMA is not going to do it.
But that's the thing. People are saying and people are pushing for him to be the face of the NBA. But when time gets hot, he is not showing up. He's not showing up. You see when
Tatum moves
Kobe
like
was
he's a
doing his
stretch
thing,
five.
he's making his shots. Bron is doing his thing, he's making his shots. He's not making his shots.
Yeah.
5 for 19 last night.
Yeah, and he's getting open looks, right? He's
Yeah.
getting wide open looks, and he's bricking them. And it's
Hmm.
like, bro, aren't you supposed to be a superstar?
Hmm.
There's no way the Steph Currys. I know Edwards had a bad shooting night in Game One, but we'll
Hmm.
see Game Two. I doubt that's gonna happen again. But we're not seeing the stars
No.
getting open looks. We're seeing stars like Jalen Brunson get double teamed and figure it out. And that's what he did in that game, and that's why he got a win. So is the discussion, should Jalen Brunson be the face of the league or Tatum? Because I don't know if I don't want Tatum to be the if Tatum is the face and this is the hope for the future,
Not
the
looking
NBA
good.
is in a bad place.
It's not
So
looking good.
yeah,
That's not a good product. And also in the Olympics, a lot of people are hating on Steve Kerr. Oh, Jason Tatum deserves to be playing. But when you look at times like this, it makes you feel like Steve Kerr made the right decision. Steve
right.
Kerr got the gold medal. Steve
Hmm.
Kerr put the best lineups out there. And Steve Kerr knows Jason Tatum very well. He beat him in the finals.
Yeah.
So he knew what he was doing. His goal was to win the tournament. They won the tournament. He didn't care if Jason Tatum had to sit on the bench because he seen him in big moments. And in those big moments, he wasn't the Jason Tatum we're used to seeing in the regular season. So that's the difference, right? You want to be face of the NBA, the playoffs has a big part of it. So we'll see what happens. We know the Celtics, they're the defending champions. They're not playing like it, but you can't say they're out just yet. Although New York City about to be going crazy, MSG, everybody's about to
Man, the
come out.
Celtics just allowed Bing Bong to
Yeah,
come back, man. The
yeah.
whole saying, we're back, we're back. So New York game three is gonna be a zoo. It's
Oh
gonna be a
man.
very hostile environment. If
Yeah,
Knicks get
yeah.
out to an early lead, I don't know, man. If they go 3-0 up, and I think
It's a
that's what the Knicks
wrap.
do. If Knicks really want to win this
It's a
series,
wrap.
they need that game three.
It's a wrap.
Don't give
It's
them a chance,
no, you can't give him a chance. But if
right? Take
they
that
win
game
game,
three,
it's a
and
wrap.
then there's no way.
It's a wrap.
There's no way the Celtics are gonna run off and
Mm-mm.
win four in a row,
No
right?
way. No chance. You mentioned JB. Like JB needs to go off for at least a 30-point game.
Yeah, and he
A
will.
30, he's due for a 30 ball
Yeah.
because he's a reigning finals MVP. I would think after that US Olympic team snub, he would be going crazy. 8 for
Hmm.
23 from the field, not good enough. Obviously, he takes a lot of flack for his dribbles, and they're saying he can't go to one side, and that's not a good look. Yes, he can lock up your best offensive player and he could score 20 plus points, but he's going to need to be consistent now because it seems like Tatum is not to be trusted. Derek White right now is looking like the best player. Seems like Derek White is the best player, the most important player. Even Drew Holiday. Drew
Mhm.
Holiday is not even looking like himself.
Yeah,
You seen the last play when Brunson went up for his
yeah,
last two free throws? Drew Holiday's just lazy,
yeah.
just
You,
grabbing his
you
arm.
usually don't see Drew Holiday making those type of mistakes. You know that they're up one
Yeah,
or they're down one. For you to then go about fouling in that moment when they're in the bonus
just
on
move
a
your
reach and
feet.
foul, that's an easy bucket, right? And you know that's Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, they just had a total collapse in game two and game one. So I don't know what the Celtics do going forward. I do believe that this series is not over, so
Mm,
I think they will respond, and
okay.
there is a possibility that the Celtics do win game three.
Yeah.
Um, but again, I can't say that if Tatum's going to play the way he did and if
Mm.
JB is going to play the way he did as well, right? This can't be a team where they're relying on Derek White's threes or
Not all
Al
the time.
Horford's three or Porzingis' three. No, it has to be the role players are knocking down their shots,
Hmm.
but JB and Jason Tatum are attacking the rim and controlling the game, and that's their way to success.
Yeah, that's that's how it is. Let's get to the other game that happened last night. OKC, the Nuggets. But before we get to game two, let's get to game one. OKC was up big, and let's get all the way to the last minute of that game. Chet Holmgren could have put the game away. Two free throws, misses both free throws. Russ down the floor makes the right play.
Yeah,
Russ has
Russ,
been making
you would
right
think he would
plays this
drive to. He's been
playoffs.
doing it all season long. He's driving to get that layup. He misses, come down the other side, then knock down the three. He finally made the right play, and he got his revenge. You
Yeah.
gotta think the storyline here is it's Russ's return to OKC.
Mm.
So it's good to see him get a win back in his own stomping
Yeah.
grounds.
So he makes the pass to Aaron Gordon, and the guy that misses the two free throws, Chet, gets a three knocked right in his face.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon, second buzzer beater of this playoffs. Denver Nuggets, you look at them, they're like they have the heart of a champion, right? You would think they would be missing a beat because they just played a game, only 1 day rest, then have to go to OKC. They have a new coach. Obviously, he's been a part of the organization, but now he's calling the shots, assistant coach turned head coach. They're still doing their thing. They're still a team to be reckoned with. You have arguably the best player, Joker, there. So stealing game one, that's huge. Did they get slapped last night? Of course. OKC
Yeah,
had
that was to be
80.
expected
Yeah, OKC had 82 or 83 at
in the first
halftime.
half. Yeah.
But you lose by one or you lose by 50. It's only one win.
Yeah, and the job was done, right? They stole home court, right?
Yeah.
Getting that one win. So that game two really wasn't that meaningful.
Hmm.
Again, they could be down 2-0, right? And they should be down 2-0. I don't know. The coaching decisions there down the stretch was just abysmal.
Oh, horrible.
Fouling right away, not letting time run off the clock. They were fouling before Denver even got over half. They
Yeah,
were just fouling right
I
away.
know.
No clock's running off. There's like 12
Yes.
seconds left, and
Hmm.
they're just giving Denver free
3
baskets,
points, like
right?
this was college.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah, so yeah, that was just abysmal. I don't know what the game plan there. At least let them make a shot, and then if they miss, the game's done. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
instead of fouling, giving them two, now you are put the pressure back on yourself, right?
Yeah,
Because now you have to make your free throws. Now you have to knock down a shot, and
yeah.
look what happened, right? You put the pressure back on Chet. Chet gets the ball. I don't know why Chet's even receiving the ball, right? Chet gets the ball, and he breaks two free throws. A man like Aaron Gordon, what a playoffs he's having. The putback dunk against the Clippers to
Uh-huh.
extend that series, and
Yep.
now stealing game one in
Hmm.
OKC. Honestly, I don't really give Denver much of a chance in this series, unfortunately, because it's just they're playing like seven players deep,
Yeah.
if that,
You have to
right?
cut your rotation in the playoffs, though.
You have to 100%. OKC's not doing it, but it works for OKC.
Yeah.
This is a young team, young legs. This team is going to be running, and you have a guy
That's the
like
thing.
Shea that could be clutch and take over,
Mm.
right? So, and they have role players, really and truly. This OKC team,
Yeah.
they're
They're
very
young.
well rounded. If they lose, it's just because I don't know. I don't know. They're not making shots or
Hmm.
they're just having one of those games. Because game one, they should have won.
Yeah.
That they had
But
that in under control. They just
lacking
fumbled
experience
it.
though. Lacking experience still. They lack
100%.
experience. But as you mentioned, they have a lot of guys that play because they're young. So
Yeah.
you can throw in guys and these guys up and down the floor, up and
Yeah.
down the floor all the time.
Yeah.
These guys are like flying over the court.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of these veteran teams, they're playing eight guys deep. Like you said, Denver's playing seven. Both teams last night playing eight deep,
Hmm.
Celtics and Knicks.
Yeah.
But for Chet, like we've been in locker rooms before. You mess up that bad, nobody's talking to you. Locker room, you're not getting talked to.
Hmm.
We're walking by you. Nobody is acknowledging you. That must have been a tough situation for him. Obviously, quick turnaround in the playoffs, but you are not getting spoken to. Nobody is caring about you that night,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. People have bad games, bad plays. That was a horrible play. He's going to remember that for the rest of his basketball career, probably his whole life.
Hmm.
And he's just lucky they're up. They won the game last night and it's
Yeah.
1-1. So other Eastern Conference semis, Mr. What the Helly Burton.
What the hell?
What the Helly, man?
Mr. Overrated. Yes.
Heliante. Hey,
Yes.
they need to get Halliburton's pops back, man. Remember, this wasn't the NBA band. This
Free
was the
Mr.
Pacers.
Holly.
This was their own team. Bro,
Yeah.
you have your son making those iconic plays, those iconic moments. You need to see that in person as a father.
Hmm.
So, like, come on, the Pacers need to do better. Get him back. Yes, he made a mistake, whatever, went in Giannis's face. Giannis probably was like, straight into Adam Silver's office. This can't happen. Giannis is out now.
Yeah.
Halliburton's pops needs to get back courtside because
Yeah.
what he is doing is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
What is going on in this series? Because your best player, 48 points, and you
Hmm.
still lose? Something is wrong because this Cleveland team, Darius Garland was out, Hunter was out, Mobley was out. That's a problem. And they have a better coach. So they can't just think because, oh, we
Coach of the
have
year,
home court
right?
advantage. Rick Carlisle is a better coach than Kenny
100%.
Atkinson.
Yeah. But
Rick
and
Carlisle
Axon
has,
won Coach of the Year, right?
yeah, Rick Carlisle has a chip back then when he beat the big three.
Hmm.
In Miami when he was with Dallas. Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle been around for a long time. So, do you think that the Cavs need these players back, or do you think that Mitchell can probably have another 40 plus point game and they can get a victory? Because he does have it in his locker to go off for many 40 plus point games. He's up there with 40 plus point games in the playoffs, just like Jamal Murray.
Hmm. Well, honestly, if we were to discuss this series prior to where we are right
I
now,
was saying Pacers before. I know we're a little late, but I was originally saying Pacers before.
yeah. And if I looked at any upset, this is where I'd look. This is the
Hmm.
first place I look because
Hmm.
Celtics Knicks, we always thought
Of
Celtics
course.
would win.
Celtics, of course,
Uh,
yeah.
OKC Denver, sticky because of Joker, but I think we all thought
Yeah.
think
Okay,
OKC is gonna win this one. And then Warriors T-Wolves, that's up in the air. We'll see as things have play out. Steph's out, right? And we'll talk about that next. But yeah, this series with the Cavs and Pacers has was the one I was most worried about because Cavs, we know what type of one seed they are, right? They played this whole season to get this one seed, right? Now, injuries are coming about, all these issues are coming about, and now look where they are. They're down 2-0, right? And they got to find a way back going into Indiana. Indiana is a hostile environment. That's
Ooh,
not
yeah,
going to be easy place to win,
yeah.
right? And who knows? Garland's going to have to figure it out, right? Garland missed 4 games now. This is the playoffs, right? If you want to be a team that's finding a way to win, you got to play through injury. We saw it with all the best players, right? And the historical runs. So wrap at the toe, extra padding, bigger shoes, figure it out. You can't let Donovan Mitchell go out there killing him, damn near killing himself just to get a win and still lose.
Seen what he
He
did
was
to
he was
Seattle?
getting beat up and bruised, and he got 40 and left the arena with an L. So that can't happen. Garland needs to come back. He needs to be support in that backcourt because Nimhard and Hallie,
They're shooting.
they're they're shooting, they're assisting, they're winning the guard battle, and that can't happen. Ty Jerome and Max Strus can't get it done.
No,
Garland, you need to find a way back, and Mobley, I understand, but Mobley or Hunter, and then again, they should be good without Hunter, to be honest, because this is a team that was winning without Hunter, and they got Hunter at the trade deadline. So
yeah.
again, they need to figure it out. They're going into Indiana. It's not going to be an easy win because this is an Indiana team that's on paper they're pretty good, and they're the fourth seed, right? So they got Siakam, they got Hallie, they got Miles Turner, right? They got Nimhard, they got Mathurin. They have guys, right? And they have a great coach, like you said. So I just think this is a tough spot for the Cavs. They're in a must-win situation in Game 3, like the Celtics. Funny enough, right? A one seed and two seed in the East when we thought it was going to be a breeze for the Celtics and the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. They both find themselves down 2-0 and in must-win situations. But I think the Pacers still will win this series.
Oh, for sure.
Now, will it be 6 games or will it be a gentleman's sweep? I'm leaning to a gentleman's sweep.
I got the Pacers winning the next game. Cavs maybe winning the next game, but I got the Pacers in five. The Pacers are another team like OKC. They get up and down. A bunch of young guys. You see they have those plays. Every team has like a 1-2 play that can change a game, that can change a series. I think that block from Mathurin
Mm,
on DeAndre Hunter, that was a play that changed the series to me. You know what I'm saying? Clean block. Yes, the Cavs fans didn't like it. I think he
mhm,
kind of pushed off with the forearm, the left forearm, but just the heart, the hustle to get back, to go up with a guy who seems like he has an open dunk. And shout out to him. He's a Canadian.
mhm.
But yeah, Nembhard, he's hitting shots. And
Yeah.
one thing about Nembhard, he plays better in the playoffs than the regular season.
Yes, it does. It's crazy.
And
Yeah.
that's where you make your money. You make your money in the playoffs. So he's having fun. This guy's hitting threes and he's smiling. Like he's
Yeah.
smiling at these guys. Like it's easy for him. And Halliburton, come on, man. This guy, the moves. He just has so much to his game. Yes, he has a pretty awkward shot. It's something we don't really see, but what he can do with the vision that he has and his dribbles. His dribbles, he can get by you so quickly, but he doesn't look fast.
Hmm.
But he's just so shifty, right?
Right.
So Halliburton is one of those players right now. I would say he's my favorite player to
Wow.
watch.
Wow.
He's a
Mr.
baller.
Mr. Overrated, eh?
He's a baller. He's a baller. That would never be from me. That's just gonna be from that's gonna be from guys that are sitting on the bench.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? As I think was it Drake that said the line? Bench players talking like starters, I hate it.
Yes.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
guys, certain guys just hating on a great.
Yeah.
But I look at this series already done.
Okay.
I think the Cavs maybe could win one game,
Hmm.
but I just think too much momentum. And that home crowd is like a college crowd.
Yeah.
Indiana, it's gonna be going crazy
Yeah.
in Indiana. So I said this to my boy the other day. I was like, hey, Dame has only been to one conference finals. And I'm already saying that Hallie's gonna already be in two because I'm already predicting they're gonna win this series. And he's what, 25?
Hmm.
Come on, man. You have to respect him. And I guarantee Dame was probably one of those guys that said he was overrated too.
Yeah. I can see that
But
for sure.
but but let's get to the final series. The Western Conference semifinals, the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. Golden State stole the first game, and a man like Buddy Hield
Knocking them down.
he has been going crazy lately. He's been
Yeah,
going crazy. All respect to Buddy Hield. And he seems like he's having fun. Like him and Jimmy, they're having fun in the post-game conferences.
yeah.
When they're speaking at the podium there.
Hmm.
And yeah, it just seems like they have a good relationship. But he's gonna have to continue this because bad news, Steph is out for a week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah, Steph's
So
out
he's
for a week,
definitely
so
he was out for game two, and
yeah,
then I guess we'll see in terms of
he's out
when do they
tonight.
play next. They play Sunday, right? If they
They
play
play
tonight,
tonight, and then after tonight,
they play
I
Sunday.
believe maybe Sunday, yes.
Yeah. So
So
is he gonna miss that game as well too?
yes,
Back
he's
in
definitely gonna
Golden
miss that
State.
game. I think he'll be back game five.
Man,
If they don't
interesting.
sweep, if they don't sweep them, of course.
So that's how you're feeling about this one, eh?
I no, I honestly do think Golden State will win this series.
Wow, okay.
The only
Even
the
with
only
Steph
thing,
out.
no, no, the only thing is we need to see Jimmy from the bubble. We need to see
Mm,
Jimmy from when he brought the Heat to the
yeah.
finals against Denver. So a lot of times I see in Jimmy's game, he's getting the ball to the paint and then he's looking for a pass.
Hmm.
Now, when he penetrates to the lane, he needs to go up. He needs
Yeah.
to finish. He needs to make these tough shots that we know Jimmy buckets can do.
Yeah.
20 a game right now with Steph gone is not gonna cut. He's gonna need to score 30, high
Yeah.
20s, 28, 29. And he's just gonna need to be the Jimmy Butler that we all know.
Yeah.
Other guys gonna need to step up the role players too, right? Gary Payton the second is gonna
Yeah.
need to step up. Looney's gonna need to step up, and Pachinski is gonna definitely need to step up. Probably try to get 20 points until Steph gets back per game. But where do you see this series going? And do you see Ant struggling like he did last game? You see that happening?
I do not see Ant struggling again. I think
Okay.
Ant will definitely bounce back. He'll have a bounce back game in game two
Yeah.
tonight. Where I am interested to see in terms of adjustments with Steph being out is
Hmm.
how Steve Kerr manages his substitutions. In game one, we saw Steve Kerr go to his bench and expand his the players that he played, right? We mentioned earlier how a lot of teams are shortening the amount of players they
Yeah.
play, right? And we
Hmm.
saw Steve Kerr at least bring off 9 players, right? That he used in terms of their matchup, right? We saw Kaminga, we saw Moody, we saw Post. He went really deep into his bench, right? Um, we even saw Pat Spencer get some minutes as well, and
Who's that?
yeah, yeah, man's weren't respecting him. Julius Randle wasn't respecting him. But it'll be interesting. Steve Kerr, great coach. I think now that we look at it and now seen the hindsight that he had with Jason Tatum,
Yes,
um, Steve Kerr will make adjustments. He'll figure out a
of
way
course.
to
7
keep this
rings.
game close. So I don't think it's gonna be an easy win. And I think Jimmy Butler. I think he has that ability to tap into that
Yes.
Miami Jimmy Butler. I think he can do it, but he knows what's around him, so he doesn't have to. He knows that Steph Curry is the best player, so he gives Steph Curry the ball and he does what he needs to do, and he plays the role that he needs to play.
Facts.
Now he knows that he's now the best player on the floor,
Hmm.
and he thinks that he thinks he's probably better than Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
So he probably thinks that, and he's going to play like it. So I expect him to get 25 or more this game and be very involved. Will it be enough? I don't know. Right? I think it'll be a close game and it'll be
Yeah.
very aggressive. But if it's only him and the other players aren't helping out, then I don't think they'll be able to get a win or even keep it close. But I expect Jimmy Butler to step up and be that Miami Heat Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
that they need him to be. But again, I I I I have the Wolves winning this series.
Okay.
I think we're on opposite sides with this. With the Steph injury, it's hard for me
Yeah.
to
It is
say that
tough.
the Warriors find a way to win this one. And I think we'll see it in terms of game two, how big it will be in terms of them missing Steph. Because Steph was playing very well. They had a great chemistry in terms of how the way they were playing, with Jimmy and Steph and Buddy Hield and Draymond was on fire in game one as well. Does that happen again? I
Yeah.
doubt it, right? And that only happens because everyone's focused on Steph. Now they're just gonna let the dogs out. They don't have to double team. There's one on one strap up, bring the defensive intensity. Um, and if that's the case, I just feel like the Wolves, right? And then Steph is gonna have to be forced to come back early, whether it's game four, game five. The Wolves, I think they win the next two.
Mm.
And then there's going to be the decision to be made in terms of game four if they bring back Steph for bad hamstring or if they try to tie up the series.
So where do you see the advantages? Because you seem pretty confident the Wolves can take this series. Where do you see the advantages in the post with Gobert, the size advantage there, or is it just the youth that Minnesota has over
I,
them?
I think scoring. I think Warriors will have a problem scoring the basketball, with the Wolves being able to bring up the defensive intensity and adjust the way they play with no Steph in the game,
Right.
right? So I think Warriors will have trouble scoring, and I think Wolves don't mind making it a rock fight, right? Because I think they trust Ant in terms of clutchness, and they trust Randall if they need to go to Randall, and they have enough guys to find a way to score, and they can score in different ways, right? They
Yeah.
don't just shoot the three. They find different ways. Maybe Rudy Gobert is getting offensive rebounds, putting it back. There's different ways they can score. I just think they can just, again, at the end of the day, all they need to do is score more than the other team. And if the Warriors are having trouble scoring without Steph in the lineup, I think the Wolves have an edge there.
Yeah. No, I feel what you're saying there. I feel that. I think Steve Kerr's a really good coach, a
Hmm.
great coach. Like that was definitely very low for Steve Kerr. I give him the highest regards when it comes to coaching, just
Hmm.
because he's been around greatness, right? 3 rings there with the Bulls, been around Pippen, Rodman, all those guys, MJ, and
Hmm.
then 4 rings
And
as a
Pop
coach.
as well with the
Pop,
Spurs. Yeah.
he learned through Pop. So I look at Steve Kerr as a top 3 coach of all time. I think he'll make these adjustments, but
Hmm.
being without your best player is always tough.
Yeah.
It's always tough without your best player. So we'll see what he can do. But change of sport real quick
Yeah. We got to
before we
discuss it.
end off. You see what happened last night? You
Yeah,
see what
man.
happened the night before that? Arsenal gone, Barca gone, Inter Milan against PSG in the final. And this is so
Hmm.
crazy because PSG had Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, and they couldn't make a final.
Yeah.
Now they have not one of those guys and they're in a final. How
Hmm.
mad is that? And Inter Milan is back for the second time in 3 years. So you have to give respect to Simone and Inzaghi. I think he's probably a guy nobody talks about. I would go as far as saying Simone Inzaghi is the best manager in the world. Coming from Italy, not the greatest league,
Yeah.
2 Champions Leagues in three
Yeah.
years.
That's amazing
Lost
what he's done.
Lukaku, lost Onana, he's back there. Only one real star guy in Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah.
Beat probably the best player in the world right now, Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
So what are you saying in terms of who do you see winning right now?
Well,
If
first and foremost, I like to say I think Inter and Barca had one of the best Champions League ties of all time. Like I can't go back and think what was better than that tie. We had goals. We just had great goals as well. We just had back and forth, the theatrics of
yeah,
everything, extra time, amazing. Like I honestly thought again, Milan went up, right? And then Barca came back and
yeah,
then they took control.
yeah,
And I thought when Barca had the lead that it was over, right? And Inter Milan found a way. So kudos to them.
yeah,
Um, but I think this is a great final. Something new, something different, something fresh. Inter Milan, PSG during a transition period, right? They lost a guy like Mbappe. and still were able to have a successful season. And we're seeing they got the young boys up top. They got the young boys just running around, making plays. They got a younger midfield. Like they're an exciting team to watch. Their tie against Arsenal was impressive. What they were able to do against a great Arsenal side and win both legs in
Good,
that tie.
good Arsenal side. Let's not go far. Let's not go that far.
I mean, they are the great runner-ups, I'll tell you that. But
They're great at what they do.
yeah, they are great at what they do, which is not be in finals or win trophies. But
Yeah.
that's another story. But I think we got a good finals. I really don't know where it's gonna go in terms of a winner. I like to say PSG, I really do.
Mhm.
But seeing what Inter Milan did against Barcelona,
Yeah.
it's tough. It's really tough. But I lean to PSG in the championship and winning the Champions League.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think Inter can take this, but I think it can go either way.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think it's like a true 50-50. Definitely
Hmm.
a pick 'em. It's good to see the underdogs win sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
And PSG, no, PSG, I would say was a favorite against Arsenal, but Inter was definitely the underdog
Yeah.
against Barca. And before this tournament started, we would never think PSG and Inter would be in the final. So
No, no, no chance. Yeah.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing to see. Dembele's playing great. They're saying he's going to be a Ballon d'Or candidate.
Hmm.
And Lautaro Martinez obviously won the World Cup a few years ago. He's still
Hmm.
scoring golazos. So it's going to be nice. The keeper for Inter Milan, like those saves he was making, Jan
Wow.
Sommer, like those were phenomenal saves. Like you
Yeah.
have to respect
Yeah.
his reflexes, just his eye, keeping his eye
Yeah.
on the ball the entire
And
time.
Donnarumma as well in that PSG game, he was making some
Yeah.
spectacular saves against Arsenal. So he came, both goalies came up big. So
Hmm.
the goalie edge, like both goalies are playing
Even.
great football right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just want to expect a great game. It's going to
Hmm.
be in a few weeks, but you already know we grew up on footy, so we had to spit a little game
I
on the
thought you were gonna
pitch.
bring up the other football and to discuss Pickens and the trade to the Dallas Cowboys, but we'll have to save that for
We'll
another
get
day.
back to that. We will
Yeah.
get back to that next episode when we drop some more
Hmm.
heat. We'll definitely talk about Mr. Hothead Pickens on
Yeah, you're
the
a fantasy
Cowboys.
guy. Yes.
God let me down, man. But it's JL Still Sports. Subscribe, like, comment. You already know.